If you can do magic, what would you do with it? For me personally, I would use it to find two English subs of a popular magical girl anime franchise starring cute elementary girls becoming witch apprentices. I'm sure you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute, I've seen an English dub of this particular anime. Yes, everyone knows about the 4Kids dub, but there were two previous attempts of an English dub of this particular anime, but they have since been become lost media over the years. This is the story of the two lost pre-4Kids English dubs of Ojamajo Doremi, or Magical DoReMi. Ojamajo Doremi is a magical girl anime created by Izumi Todo that ran from February 7, 1999 to January 30, 2000 for a total of 51 episodes. It follows an 8-year-old girl named Doremi Hadukase who she sees herself as the world's unluckiest girl. One day, when visiting the Mayudo House of Magic, she discovers that the owner, Majorika, is a witch, causing the latter to turn into a witch frog. In order to have Majorika return to her normal form, Doremi must become a witch. Therefore, she becomes a witch apprentice and she must pass 9 different exams while also keeping her witch apprentice status as a secret. Doremi initially starts off alone, but she's later joined by her two best friends, Hazuki Fujiwara and Aiko Seno. Midway through the series, they're later joined by Doremi's younger sister Pop and a rival later turned friend, Ombusegawa. The anime was a massive success, and it was praised for its wonderful characters, memorable soundtrack, and being filled with a lot of emotional moments. It eventually gained a second season titled Ojamajo Doremi Sharp, which ran from February 6, 2000 to January 28, 2001 for a total of 49 episodes, and saw the girls working at the Mahodo now turn into a garden shop while taking care of a magical witch baby named Hana. This season even received a movie which was released on July 8, 2000, though it's not really a movie as it is only 30 minutes long. After Sharp, we saw the release of the third season, Moto Ojamajo Doremi, which ran from February 4, 2001 to January 27, 2002 for 50 episodes, and the Mahodo is now a bakery in which the girls eventually got to prepare some delicious desserts with the help of a new witch apprentice, Momoko Asuka. Like Wind Sharp, Moto received its own movie, Secret of the Frog Stone, which was released on July 14, 2001, and it's not really a movie as it is only once again 30 minutes long. The anime would receive one last season with Ojamajo Doremi Dokkan, which ran from February 3, 2002 to January 26, 2003 for 51 episodes, and saw the Mahodo being turned into a craft shop. Oh, and Hana is now a witch apprentice after she used magic to age up to be a preteen like the other girls. In 2004, the series will receive a 13-episode OVA titled Ojamajo Doremi Nai Sho that lasted from June 26 to December 11 of that same year, and it serves as a midquel between Moto and Dokkan. The franchise will make a return on November 13, 2020 with a special movie titled Looking for Magical Doremi, and unlike the previous two quote-unquote movies, this one is actually a movie because its runtime is 91 minutes. I know I didn't summarize the other 3 seasons that much, but because this is a generally well-made and beautifully written anime, I'd rather not spoil it despite being over 20 years old. Seriously, please go watch Ojamajo Doremi. It's a beautiful and wonderful anime. 4Kids Entertainment was an American studio in charge of taking popular animes and localize it to American audiences. And this infamously included taking the mature and edgy One Piece and modifying it in order to make it more suitable for kids, hence their name. In 2003, 4Kids noticed that most of the shows airing on their Saturday morning block, the Foxbots, were primarily aimed at boys. Ultimate Muscle, Cubits, Robots for Everyone, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, Sonic X, and even Kirby Right Back Atcha, because remember, this was the angry Kirby in the West era of Kirby. Of course, these shows had their fair share of female fans, but 4Kids wanted girl shows in order to appeal to the female demographic, and these shows included Tokyo Mew Mew, which was later renamed to Mew Mew Power, Wings Club, and of course Ojamajo Doremi, or should I say Magical DoReMi. Some common changes that 4Kids did to the anime was obviously changing the characters' name to more American names, such as the main trio being called Dory, Renee, and Mirabelle. Clever. Editing or removing Japanese elements, such as changing the text to be written in English, and they also removed stuff like the eye catches and the cold openings, as you've seen in animes. And of course, they toned down the more emotional or intense scenes. The most infamous and simple censorship that they did to the anime was episode 19, Hazuki Gets Kidnapped. As the title suggests, it revolved around Hazuki getting kidnapped by the Papaya brothers, leading to Doremi and Naiko to go rescue her. 4Kids altered the plot so that the taller Papaya brother was instead her uncle, and the plot revolved around her spending the day with him and his sidekick, while her friends mistook it as a kidnapping. In addition, episode 30, I Want to Meet the Ghost, was skipped over and never dubbed in English, possibly because 4Kids considered the episode either too scary or it had too many religious references that would have made it impossible to alter the plot like they did with episode 19. 4Kids' dub of Ojamajo Doremi was very unsuccessful because they never aired the show past 9 a.m., resulting in it to get very low ratings and to be quietly cancelled midway to the first season. They did manage to air the remaining 26 episodes, excluding episode 30, on their website and labeled it as Season 2. However, the 4Kids stuff was thankfully archived and you can watch all 50 episodes, excluding episode 30, on English on the Wayback Machine or Daily Motion. But did you know that 4Kids technically wasn't the first studio that Toei asked them to dub Ojamajo Doremi in English? Toei's first attempt at dubbing Ojamajo Doremi in English goes all the way back to August of 2000, where Bandai reported to sign a deal with Mattel to release Magical DoReMi toys in the United States the following year. Obviously, this never happened, and Bandai America would later release toys for the 4Kids dub in 2006. But why they wanted to release toys at Ojamajo Doremi in the United States? Well, that's because at one point in the year 2000, Toei Animation commissioned an English language pilot and promo from the Vancouver, Canadian-based Ocean Productions. Huh? What pilot? I'm guessing they're referring to the first episode, I'm Doremi becoming a witch apprentice, but there's something pretty strange that they just referred it as pilot and not the actual first episode. According to a trusty website, the Lost Media Wiki, the pilot was recorded at Ocean Productions' Blue Water Studio in Calgary. It was directed by Terry Snellgrove, and the series would have aired on either Nickelodeon or Fox Kids in 2001. It was also implied that this English dub would have only dubbed the original season and Sharp like in German and Sade for me, Latin America. Yeah, I had to watch the other 2 seasons with English subtitles. And that's all the information I was able to find about the Ocean Studios dub of Ojamajo Doremi, because guess what? Nothing else is known about this mysterious pilot. All that I know is that this dub never happened and it was likely scrapped. Well, that plan sank pretty fast, but Toei wouldn't give up because they would try it again a couple years later with a different studio instead, and it still wasn't for kids yet. Now let's move on 2004, the year me and another magical girl franchise I adore were born. Ojamajo Doremi received an earlier English dub prior to 4Kids, this one being produced for the Singaporean market. It debuted on Channel I, a Singaporean English language channel on June 20, 2004, 6 days before Na Isha. The dub was provided by Voiceovers Unlimited, a Singaporean audio recording studio founded by Chuck Powers in 2001. Wait a minute. Powers directed the dub and provided voice acting for it alongside Brian Sirimerman and Vincent Tan. The anime aired on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. and it seems like it was doing pretty well. But after October 10, 2004, the anime was removed from the schedule, and then on January 1st, 2005, Channel I ceased transmission altogether due to low viewership and its own SPEH Media Awards merging with Media Crop. 17 episodes were dubbed, but it's unclear which episodes from the anime were dubbed, though I can assume that they were the first 17 episodes, or how many episodes of the dub were even produced in total. It's also unknown if the dub received any TV distribution outside of Singapore or any home media releases. And much like when the Ocean dub, we don't have a complete list of the Singapore's dub's cast and production crew. But what I am sure about it is that both of these dubs were a lot more faithful to the original Japanese version than 4Kids, even with some minor changes. And speaking of 4Kids, we later got the 4Kids dub in 2005, and while they managed to dub the entire first season, minus episode 30, it still wasn't successful like I mentioned this earlier in the video. It received low TV ratings, and the remainder of the anime was released on 4Kids' website. Fittingly for poor Doremi, these must be the world's unluckiest English dubs ever. Now, if we had magic, of course we can cast a spell to get these dubs right now. But remember, this is real life, so we don't have magic, therefore we can't do that. So, how exactly are we ever going to find these English dubs? Well, for the Ocean dub, that one is pretty complicated because it was made for test purposes to see if they can manage to do an English dub of the show, and it was only shown for test screenings, therefore that one is going to be very difficult to find. I can only hope that someone who worked at Ocean Productions has at least a copy of the English dub of whatever this mysterious pilot is. As for the Singaporean dub, well, the easiest answer is that someone has recordings for when they aired on Channel I, but because it's pretty much a very obscure channel that most of you, if not nobody, has ever heard of it, there's a very good chance that no one has bothered to record it. However, if there's someone who lives in Singapore, please let me know if you had any copies of Channel I for when Ojamajo Doremi was airing during Sunday mornings. But until then, the story ends right here, because as of October of 2025, it seems that both the Ocean and Singaporean English dubs of Ojamajo Doremi are still lost. And since we don't have magic in real life, all we can do is hope that one day someone ever finds them. Happy, lucky for all of you!